What's happening, guys? We're back with another video today. Today we're gonna be lowering David's car on, we got some DINAN sports springs. What do you estimate the job's gonna take us?
Hours. It is, what time is it?
So right now,
9:40. I think we'll be done 4.
it's 9:40 right now. We're gonna get started literally right now. I've done lowering springs twice. This is David's first time doing it. I think I'm estimating 4 hours, 4-hour job.
All right, so we got the car jacked up now. We're just gonna take off the wheel right here. And honestly, I'm so happy that we're doing this mod because this is probably one of the mods I should have done first. I think it's probably gonna end up being my favorite mod, even though at first I didn't really care for it. Look at that engine bay. What do you think?
It's gonna look good.
I hope so. We'll see.
Now we can take this little plastic trim out. So we gotta access. Just put that there. Gotta access the strut. And now we're gonna start dealing with all of this stuff. Even though David's car is a 2013, has a really low amount of kilometers on it for the year it is. So realistically, everything should be coming off relatively smoothly, but we have all the tools we need, so it should go pretty good. We got the first bolt out. These are what the springs look like. They got this like really nice blue. You see there, DINAN. These are actually the rear ones. And the front ones are still packaged up.
Those are front.
Oh. These are front. The rears are still in the box. First strut out in what? 45?
That's roughly an hour, but that's including us jacking up the car.
Not bad. For anyone who's done lowering springs, you know what I'm talking about. For those who don't, there's a nut in here that has a bolt that's free spinning. So you have to hold the bolt while you twist the nut. But technically, if there's pressure on it, we might not have to hold it. So I could, before they get the spring press, start drilling at it a little bit just to loosen it, then do the rest of the way, which I think we should do that.
Okay. Now we're just getting the spring press on there so that we can release the tension of the spring and then get the lowering spring on there. Should be pretty simple. Oh, bumps up.
Boom, taking it apart. So this is the old spring, and then that's the new one. Little comparison right there.
And then I also got these DINAN bump stops to prevent the suspension from bottoming out so much when you over bumps because it's lowered. And then if we just compare these two, definitely a big difference.
Honestly, I think that lowering springs, when it comes to if you just want your car lower and you don't necessarily want that whole insanely stiff suspension part of your car being lower, lowering springs just makes the most sense. With coilovers, if you're not adjusting the height or the aggressiveness of your coilover, and you just keep riding on the same height, you're just gonna end up seizing your coilovers. So lowering springs is a cheaper alternative if you just want your car lower and you're not really looking for crazy track focused suspension. Put the coilover all on it, that'll sit into place, and let's throw it back on the car.
$50. Probably 50, because that's probably when we'd have like good.
Sure. Okay, everything is on, right?
Yes,
Everything is on.
So we got all the bolts at the bottom back on.
I'm gonna take this off.
Take what off?
I put the big bolt in, I did not tighten it.
All right, this is gonna be the first time dropping it. Let's see how it looks. It'll probably look super high just because the suspension was just sprawled out, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid high right now.
Yeah, we just need to drive it around a little bit and then it'll actually settle and then we can see what it looks like. Yo. All right, we got Big Bro lubing it up over here. Get that side easy to take off. And then we're just gonna repeat the same thing on the front. Kind of get the hard part out of the way. And then once that's done, we'll move on to the back. You touched the positive terminal.
That's the best place to put a positive terminal in the world.
So, we were just taking off the bolts on the top mount, the top strut. What's it called?
Strut tower.
Strut tower. Top of the strut thing.
Top of the strut.
We were taking that thing off, and then Roman touches the socket against the positive terminal. This is a huge spark. All this is off. The bottom's almost done too, right?
Yeah.
We only have 1 or 2 bolts down there.
No bolts, that's it.
Oh, never mind. We just have to get that strut out, and then
We're good. We're good to
switch out the spring and we're good.
We just finished up the front. I'm gonna get David to drive the car around a bit, let it settle down a little bit, and then we're gonna do the springs in the back. We're not sure if we're gonna have time today to do the bump stops for the back, but we'll see how everything turns out.
All right, first drive, front's lowered. We're gonna see how it sits. So far, it's not really noticeable. It's just the alignment even feels okay, which normally it wouldn't. But let's just go for a little rip here. Yeah, so far not bad. I mean, it feels like it handles the same, maybe a bit better. It's really gonna be noticeable when I get the rear springs on there, because then I'll probably have less body roll and like it'll probably just handle nicer around corners in general. But for now, it feels pretty good, and I'm hoping that it's gonna look a lot better once it's actually settled. All right, we got Roman talking to the NPC in the background, but over here it's looking pretty good. I'm hoping that once we actually drive the car more, it'll sit down more. But for now, already a noticeable difference. Like it already dropped. Before I could fit like 3.5 fingers in here, and now I can only fit 2. So it's definitely looking better already. And then once we get the back, it'll also drop a bit more because it'll be properly leveled out. But yeah, not bad. This is still bad though, but that's gonna get done. All right, so fast forward a bit. We're here. We have back wheel off. We're working on disassembling the shock assembly and taking the spring off. And then from there, we're going to change out the bump stop on the shock and change out the spring for the lowering spring, obviously.
Little tip for whoever's gonna be doing their lowering springs: instead of having something that's holding onto this bolt when you try to take the nut out, you can hold onto the strut itself, which will stop this from moving around. You'll be able to take this out really easily. We just did it first try. Time is currently 2:22. We're about to go and do the last wheel. It's looking good. A little more than the 4 hours expected, but okay. David didn't check his schedule properly, so he actually had to go to work right now, but we got to finish the car. So I got the last one of the struts out, about to change the spring, and that's gonna be the end of the job. Then you guys will see the final result. I'm actually really happy about how all of this is turning out. We haven't had much of any problem for any of the situations, so it's been a good journey. It just sucks that David had to go to work, but we're finishing your car for you, David. Didn't really get a chance to show you guys what it looks like on the car, but it's actually really nice color. Matches up a bit with the brake caliper. Now, I just gotta throw that strut in there, put that wheel on there, clean up all of this, and we should be good. Just like that, all the stuff is inside the car, well, outside the car, but in its proper places. Now, I just gotta throw the wheel back in, torque everything down, make sure everything's nice and tight, then we're all good. For the lowering springs, it's gonna take around a tank of gas to 2 tanks of driving for them to actually settle. But I'm about to drop off the car to David's work, which is 15, maybe 20 kilometers away. So maybe they'll settle in a bit more and I'll show you guys what it looks like then. Alignment's a little bit off, but that's okay. I'm driving the car back to David's work right now. I got my boy following me behind. And as far as the comfort goes, there's no difference at all. That's why I prefer lowering springs over coilovers, because you're not really sacrificing comfort for your car to look better. I'm really happy with it, and I'll show you guys some of the results. It seems to have lowered a really good amount without even needing a break-in period, but I'm happy. I'm pretty sure David's gonna be stoked about it. It turned out sick. One of my absolute favorite things about David's car though is he has a really nice CTS intake on it, and it sounds insane. Listen. I hope the camera was able to capture it, but in person it sounds insane. I absolutely love it. We're pulling up on David at work right now. Let's get his reaction.
Yeah, definitely looks lower. I didn't think it would be noticeable at all at first, but it definitely does look lower. I hope it sets a little bit lower even.
No, it should. It should. It should set lower. That's what happened when I had the CLA.
Yeah.
But that looks sick. Wait, let's show these guys. The back lowered a great amount. Huge over what it was before. The front will still have to set. You happy with it?
I am happy with it.
It's better than what it was before for sure.
I hope it gets better, but
no, it should. It should.
bro, because this is still a little bit.
It's still a little
down
bit.
a little bit.
No, no, it still should. I mean, it's the first what 20 kilometers put on it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I like it though. I think it's a huge upgrade.
That was good.
I'm happy with it. He's happy with it. It was a pretty smooth install, I would say.
Yeah,
didn't take the 4 hours we thought it would, but it's all right.
How did you finish?
Like 20 minutes after you left. So it didn't take too long.
Alright, so it's the next day. Here's how it looks. Overall, it turned out pretty good. It handles way better. There's no body roll on bends, so you can go way quicker around corners. Catch us in the next video when we install the skirts and the front load.